How's it poppin', Blade Operative? This is Jedi Knight Tommy Skywalker 11. My job as a curator is researching the behavior, habitat, and biology of the creatures and aliens inhabiting planet Miran. Welcome to a briefing of my findings. Miran Pokedex Entry 6. This is the lore of Insidias. A velociraptor-like reptilian species covered in scales, with feathers lining the back and tail, and forming mohawk-like crests on the head and back of the calf. Their long, slim body has only 2 legs with no arms, and 2 sickle-clawed toes per foot with a larger inner claw. Their heads possess a sharp beak, and 2 tympanum on either side of the head. The name Insidia is Latin for ambush, owing to their agile movement and hunting patterns. Insidias make their habitat primarily in narrow locations surrounded by cliffs in Noxilum and Oblivia, such as Red Snake Pass or Goblin's Narrow, where they can make use of their running speed. One unusual specimen, however, was seen living in Headwater Cavern in Primordia, having stolen Tatsu's Kamina glasses. For aggro awareness, this species is aggressive by sight towards ground units who appear as potential prey, but docile towards skells. Their diet is carnivorous, ambushing smaller creatures from behind cover and using their swift running speed to catch prey should it try to escape. When threatened by larger creatures, they can cough up stones stored in the digestive tract to create distractions and get away at high speeds. Living in multi-generational herds, during breeding season they will migrate to meet with other herds and find mates. Any that do not find a mate take on the role of caring for the young in their herd. The lone Insidia encountered in Primordia may have been separated from its herd during a migration and become left behind to fend for itself. More on the life cycle with this report and field illustrations by researcher Pyroraptor. Insidias were some of the first dangerous indigents that Blade Scouts encountered while surveying Noxilum and Oblivia. Many teams found themselves ambushed from packs hiding behind thick foliage and rock formations. They are far from the most threatening indigent on the planet, but their tendency to ambush blades has given them a notorious reputation. The current widely accepted explanations for this are that Insidias are used to hunting smaller prey around the same size as humans, or that blades may have been stumbling too close to an Insidia den. Insidias bear a surprising resemblance to Earth's theropod dinosaurs, particularly juvenile tyrannosaurs in their skull and abelisaurs in overall posture, but with some radical differences. Most significantly, adult Insidias have a heavily atrophied caudal portion of the body and a complete lack of forelimbs. A subject of furious debate is how adult Insidias can balance due to their lopsided anatomy. Current working theories include them swallowing rocks and storing them in the stomach as a counterweight to the front of their body. Others suggest they may be using buoyancy with internal air sacs in their caudal body to do so. Until a detailed dissection can be done, this will remain a mystery. The most notable habit of the Insidias is their tendency to swallow rocks. Both young and adult Insidias alike will be frequently swallowing rocks while they are in the wild and practicing spitting them out, as observed by many unfortunate blades and aerial cams attempting to study their social habits. This behavior is used for both offense and defense, as they will spit rocks to deter would-be predators and stun unlucky prey. When a group of Insidia band together and spit rocks, even far larger indigents like Viragos and Orvis can be successfully repelled. More of Pyroraptor's valuable research and artwork can be found linked below. Now for dealing with this species in the field yourself, I present their combat information. Insidias are theroid or beast-type creatures and as such have a weakness to ether attacks and a strong weakness to thermal attacks, with no resistances other than the across-the-board higher resistances of tyrants. The attacks used by this species are exclusively physical attribute and as such can be reliably dealt with by equipping physical resistance. Heck, a basic low cooldown melee attack. Hypercharge. Melee with a slight area of effect around the user that inflicts stagger and can be disabled by breaking the head mohawk appendage. Rock Shot. Ranged homing that inflicts blackout, lowering range damage, accuracy, and evasion. And their last art, Drop Kick, a high-powered melee attack that inflicts knockback. Insidia come in 2 color varieties, the majority of which are green scales and feathers with tan undersides. Then there are red variants with darker undersides found in the eastern parts of Noxilum by Fukai Pass, as well as the lone specimen encountered in Primordia and the Empress Insidia dealt with by the Superior Blade HB. We then have 2 tyrant specimens that have been identified with one of each color variant. Lambert, the Divine Wind. Located patrolling the Goblin's Narrow by FN-219, near where we first met our Xeno ally L. Lambert leads a herd of spear Insidias that line the area. Lambert stands out among the species for an exceptionally high running speed, making outrunning him on foot a useless endeavor, but careful stealth behind corners can allow for avoiding his sights. He and his herd proved to be an obstacle on the expedition to locate the Lifehold unit discovered at Sunlit Spring. As avoidance takes careful timing, combat posed a danger to our still inexperienced team, and there was no alternative route around. Subsequently, a bounty was put out on him to prevent losses when returning to further survey the area. A majestic creature that must become an unfortunate casualty in humanity's need for survival. And then we have Griffus, the Tartarean. Leader of a red herd at Fukai Pass. Griffus is a demonic presence with his especially large size, crimson scales, and allies waiting in ambush should prey try to escape in any direction that isn't jumping off the steep cliff. Griffus and his group of Vermilion Insidias have terrorized many blades making their way through Fukai Pass.
Did they see us?
It's advised that weaker blades make use of stealth measures if traveling the pass on foot, either activating Shadowrunner or avoiding detection by dodging around rocks and waiting for openings to sneak past. An ironic twist of nature, using the Insidia's own ambush tactics to avoid being hunted by them. But should combat be inevitable, try to engage Griffus on the northern end of his territory closer to the Weeping Whitewood, where the other Vermilion Insidias will be too far away to notice the battle. Then refer back to the combat guide portion of the briefing, as Griffus follows all the same traits as the rest of the species.
Did they see us?
As a final note, while I have not had the chance to try it in my field research, I've heard it reported by others that Insidia bone and thigh meat tastes like chicken. I cannot confirm these claims as culinary research is outside the scope of my work, but if anyone has experience trying it, please tell in the comments what they taste like. But that concludes this briefing. Along with any reports of Insidia flavor, please leave suggestions for what species you'd like to be the subjects of future research, as well as any details you have to add on the Insidia species or its tyrants Lambert and Griffus. To see previous Miran Pokedex entries on other indigent species, or lore of unique monsters in the numbered Xenoblade trilogy, refer to the playlist on the left. And see you next time.